So the other day I was thinking about my choice in comedy shows, and I've been rewatching some lately, and I realised that my taste is actually quite out of date for my age. So for those of you who don't know, I'm actually 22, and yes, I know I look a bit older, but I'm from the north, allow it. But the point is, still, I watch comedy shows from a long time ago, some of which even before I was born. So what I want to do today is tell some of you guys about some of the comedy shows that I grew up watching that I absolutely love, that you guys may not have even heard of, or you just haven't seen them. Because whilst comedy, like most things, it is all a matter of taste, and it is down to the person watching it, these are some comedy shows from Britain and Ireland that I would recommend. So first of all, let's talk about one from the 1970s known as Some Mothers Do Have 'Em. This show stars Michael Crawford as Frank Spencer. Now Frank Spencer has quite an irritating high-pitched voice and gets himself into all these just utterly ridiculous situations. People could misconstrue him as quite an irritating character, but for me, and I think for most of the audience who watch this show, he's actually quite charming and quite sympathetic as well. This show is kind of heavy on slapstick, so in that regards, it is quite old school. However, if you are a fan of something like Miranda, then you would probably like something like this, because this is actually good and focuses on slapstick. There's also a couple of catchphrases here and there as well, but it's just the ridiculousness of some of these situations. You have to see them to believe them. Also, fun fact for you people who are Doctor Who fans, Elizabeth Sladen was originally supposed to play the wife in this show. However, thankfully she didn't, because it was around this time that they were looking to cast Sarah Jane. She does, however, actually appear in one episode of Some Mothers Do Have 'Em. I can't remember which one, but I know that she does. But it's a 1970s classic, and it makes me laugh every single time. Next up, and heading into the 1990s with a show that I imagine most of you would probably have heard of and possibly even seen as well, it's Father Ted. Now, to those of you guys out there who are a fan of shows like IT Crowd or Black Books, this was written by the same guy. So if you like the IT Crowd or you like Black Books, I would definitely say to go and check out Father Ted. This show basically revolves around 3 Irish priests on an island. They get up to all sorts of antics, and again, similar to with Some Mothers Do Have 'Em, it is just pure ridiculousness on some occasions that you just have to see to believe. This is a timeless classic comedy show. There is not a single bad episode of Father Ted. All of them are absolutely hilarious. It never ever dipped in quality. There are only 3 series of this as well, which is mainly because unfortunately the lead actor died shortly after filming the last episode of series 3. So on the one hand, it's good that it didn't ever get a chance to dip in quality. It's also quite sad at the same time because Father Ted himself is now dead. But the rest of the cast in this are great. Ardal O'Hanlon, who stars as Dougal in this, went on later to star in My Hero, which is another funny British comedy show. And he was also one of the cat people in Gridlock, the Doctor Who episode. So just in case my Doctor Who viewers are watching this, this is sort of references for you. But no, honestly, it is such a funny show. Father Jack as well is the older priest that lives with him, who is just drunk constantly. And Ted seems like the only rational person in this world. Graham Norton as well is also in this show. So if you're a fan of him, check it out. Like I say, it is literally like IT Crowd, but with priests instead. Now this next one is a must-see, because personally, if it wasn't for something like Friends, this would be my favourite comedy show of all time. Only Fools and Horses. Now I imagine a lot of people watching this would also have heard of Only Fools and Horses, and it's just brilliant. It is one of the just greatest shows ever made. It's in a similar vein of Friends to me, in the sense that even though I have seen the episodes multiple times, I can know them word for word, I know exactly when jokes are coming, still funny. The timing in this show is impeccable. David Jason, Nicholas Lyndhurst, the best comedy pairing of all time in my opinion, in terms of a sitcom. Their performances are absolutely flawless. Getting really sick of that, it's not even funny now.
Oh, shut up, you tart.
The show basically centres around Del Boy, who is easily the best comedy character ever made in my opinion, and his younger brother Rodney, wheeling and dealing around Peckham and all over London. Because of Del Boy trying to make more money, he keeps coming up with all these different schemes that just never go to plan. The characters as well, because it goes on for such a long time, they grow over the course of the show. So when they start off the show, Del Boy's a bit of a player, Rodney is hopeless with women. By the time the show ends, they are both settled down. But it actually works, and all of the characters actually add something to the story. If you are going to watch this, the one thing that I would say is maybe avoid the first series and watch it after you've seen the rest of it. Main reason that I would say that is that the first series just isn't that good, and when you compare it to some of the other classic episodes and moments that happen later on, it just pales in comparison. But there are definitely some fun episodes in there as well. I'm probably biased because I grew up with it as a kid, but it's just bloody brilliant. And of course they did try to make an American remake like they always bloody do, and to that I say, thankfully it didn't get past the pilot stage. So that's just 3 of my suggestions of comedy shows that you need to watch, in terms of older comedies anyway. I will probably do another video of this because there are more, but I didn't just want to cram in a load in one video. Just sort of give you a few to go off of first, see what you think of them, and then I'll suggest some more. I'm a good guy like that. Actually, I'm an arsehole, but still. If you've seen these shows, let me know what you think of them in the comments below. Also, let me know if you haven't seen them and you go and check them out, what you think of them. And also let me know what other iconic comedy shows or just good comedy shows that you've seen whilst growing up that aren't sort of modern day, so maybe stuff from the 70s, 80s, 90s, or just before you were born really. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like on it, subscribe if you want to see more, because my 2,000 subscriber special is coming out and I have decided what it is going to be, and oh, you guys are evil for suggesting it, you really are. But until next time guys, you take care of yourself, goodbye. This show basically